Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints.
Good morning. Welcome back to our cabin. Oh, what a glorious day. The sun is shining. You guys know I've been complaining on Instagram and stuff. All of August has been nothing but rain. And you know, it starts to wear on you, especially because us Alaskans, we know that winter is like right around the corner. So we cherish the sunny days. And this is one of very few that we've had in the month of August. So today we are continuing work on the cabin siding. Joe has got more done. He got the other side with the exterior door to the addition completed yesterday. We've got to finish that. We have to stain it. And then we also picked up some more stain because, as you guys know, we have to finish staining the front of the cabin. And then all of the staining is done, which is a huge accomplishment because that's something that we really wanted to get done this summer before winter hit. The sheep and the goats hear me. They know I'm awake and they want breakfast, and Bella wants to get milked. So we're just hanging out here on the property today. Let's get up there and milk Bella really quick and get into this day, shall we?
Parker. Oh, he scared me. I don't even want to touch it, even though I know it's fake. You're such a little jokester, just like your dad.
Scared the bejesus out of me. I get done feeding the sheep their grain and I go to pick up my milk bucket and there's this big fake cockroach sitting on there. They have this fake cockroach and this big fake Halloween black spider that we've had since Virginia, and they randomly put it in the silverware drawer, put it on the bathroom shower floor. Him and Joe both. This is what they do to me.
Come on, Bella girl. Come on, Bella girl. Yeah, come on. Good morning. Get up there. Come on. Oh, I didn't have your headlock open. Let's switch you around. There you go. Good girl. Good girl, Bella.
So Bella has consistently given us a quart and a cup of milk every day that we've milked her since we had her. And so her milk production has actually increased. When we first got her, it was just under a quart. And now we get a full quart plus another cup of milk. So for our small family of 3, it's just the perfect amount of milk. Bella likes being milked because she gets grain all to herself. Yeah, you're a little spoiled.
So much warmer in here.
Yeah, breaks all the wind.
Yeah.
So we moved the milk stand on the inside of this covered area so that I'm not getting rained on because we've been getting so much rain. And the goats don't like the rain either. The goats hate the rain. So Joe helped me move it on the inside here, and it's working out really great for me and Bella. So the kid sharing with Titus, her son, has been working out great. On the days that we don't feel like milking or we don't need any milk, we just leave Titus in with her 24 hours a day. And he loves that because he gets all of her milk all to himself, and he keeps her cleaned out really good. And then on the days that we want to milk her, we just separate them at night, and he sleeps with Peter and Frankie for the night so he can't drink her milk. And as you guys have seen on many of our videos, after we get done milking in the morning, Titus gets to go back with Mama for the rest of the day. And it's just been a great routine because honestly, for anybody that's had a dairy animal, you know, there are days that you don't want to milk. Whether the weather's really bad or maybe you're feeling under the weather, which happens with me sometimes. So having a baby on the mama to help out with the milking is just the perfect setup.
He's trying to smell it. Titus is getting so big. Look at you. You're a little man goat now. Little man goats.
Look at his curly little tail.
Yes, you are, Titus. Yes, you are, little flop ears.
So it's interesting if, oh, I see I have some milk splatter on my lens. I'll have to clean that in the house. If Bella had little doelings, if she had had little girls, then it wouldn't be an issue at all. But being that her babies, she did have 2 bucks, and the seller decided to keep one because that one was already promised to another buyer. But she did have little boys, and so we do have to keep in mind at a certain age, Titus will be able to get Tilly pregnant and also his own mom if he wanted to. So at a certain point, we will be banding Titus. And for those that don't know, banding is when you put a really tight band around their testicles and it cuts off that circulation. And after a period of time, usually 3 weeks or so, they fall off. The skin dies, the tissue dies, and they fall off. So then you don't...
We just found Enoch's over at the grain feeder.
Yeah, we just found Enoch's, and Parker's like, oh my gosh, Mom, you know, farm kids, they're not sheltered from anything. They see it all. But, you know, goats are awesome. They are in milk for a long time. They're just like a dairy cow. So if you continue to milk them consistently, they will stay in milk for 9, 10, 11 months out of the year until you dry them off right before the next kidding season. That's one of the things I love most about now milking goats, because our sheep, as you guys know, we were milking our sheep, they're in milk for a much less amount of time. Depending on the breed and how often you milk them, they're in milk for 3 to 4 to 5 months. So significantly less amount of time that they're in milk. And for our family, I want to try to have fresh milk all year long, even in the winter time. So Bella is so easy to milk. She's so sweet and docile and listens. There's no fight to get her in the milk stand. And I milk her out in like 10 or 15 minutes by hand. So I don't have any issue coming out here in the winter time and continuing to milk her during the winter season so we can have fresh milk for the family, even when it's -40. You know, you might have to bring a little space heater out here or something, but it's really not that bad when you're out here for such a short amount of time. So I'm excited, but we do have to band little Titus here soon because I've been watching him. He's been smelling Tilly's back end.
He's been getting like a psycho and he smells like...
I know, and he does that little lip curl, you know, when they smell and they get that pheromone going, and it's like, yep, you guys have seen it. You guys have seen it. If you've had a farm, you've seen it. When they get that smell of them ladies, they do this funny little face. So we want to make sure that he doesn't get them pregnant. Obviously, we don't want him breeding his mom. And even with Tilly, we do not want them breeding right now, because then that would mean we would have January or February babies, and that's still in the dead of winter, and we don't want that. So we like to have our babies around April or May. It's warming up. We still have a little snow on the ground, but they do really well around that time frame. So probably another month, and we'll be banding Titus. Good morning, Ruthie. Good morning, Ruthie. Hi. Did you get yourself some grain? There's beautiful Enoch. Look how big he's gotten.
Oh, yeah.
So for those that know the flock and now the herd, we have, you know, we are going to be significantly downsizing now that we are milking goats instead of sheep. So what we're going to end up with after this fall, after butchering season, is we will have, for sheep, we will have Peter as our breeder, Naomi and Sarah. The rest are going in the freezer. So we'll have 3 sheep, and then of course they'll lamb every year. Those lambs will be raised up to go in the freezer. And then for our goats, we are going to have Frankie as our breeder. We'll have Tilly, and we'll have Bella as our milkers. And then Titus, we have to see. We've never eaten goat. I know a lot of people eat goat. They say it's delicious. We eat lamb and love it. So we are going to give it a try. So Titus will be raised up for meat. And then we'll kind of see from there on out. In years to come, when the goats kid, we don't want a bunch of goats on the property. I need 1 buck and I need 1 or 2 milking goats. So all of the kids from there on out will either be sold to other people that want to, you know, have their own dairy goats, or maybe even for meat. But as I just said, we're going to be banding Titus. So most people don't want to buy a buck that's not intact because they can't use them as a breeder, obviously. So Titus will most likely be going in the freezer when the time comes, and we'll see how that goes. Like I said, we've never had goat. I'm very anxious to see. Let me know in the comments if you have eaten goat, if you eat it regularly, what your thoughts are, and if you like it. But either way, we're going to give it a try.
in the town on the hill where the apples grow and the church bells ring every hour or so. I took a little walk just to see the ships coming in. The sun rose up right above the highway, black, blue, red, yellow, golden skyway. It's like the day that you jump into the wind. I can't go back down to that water. These old muddy shoes keep on walking the streets. Someone's bride buying Egyptian sheets. The window display of some little store in town. And there's my reflection against the morning light. Hello, Mr. Ghost, Mr. Skeleton White. You better comb your hair, you better wipe that George clay off your brow. You better stand up straight, man, these people hardly recognize you now. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I know it takes a lot to change a worried mind, and I know it takes a year to see the warm summertime. But I'm made of nails, man, made of tombstone and tall, tall trees. But the tombstone fades and the nails will rust. Tall oak trees, they all turn to dust. A little every day, it's so slow that you can't even see. I guess I'll try to find another thing to be. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I just sit here lonesome.
Go get it, Gunner. Go get it.
All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story. So many of you have asked if I could share the story of how we got Bradley. You know, the story of how we got Bradley, that's one of our dogs. For those that don't know, we have Gunner and Bradley. They're brothers from the same litter. The story of how we got Bradley is really the same as how we got Gunner, but it's kind of funny. And I'm going to share it with you, and it's not my proudest moment, okay? It was a little shady. So I shared the video with you guys when we got Gunner. We were so excited. We've only owned 3 dogs in our entire 25 years of marriage. We had 2 Dalmatians. Soldier was our first one. Striker was our second one. And then, of course, you guys know Ollie. We used to have Ollie. That's Lexi's dog now. We rescued Ollie from the animal shelter years ago. And he just took a liking to Lexi. Lexi fell in love with Ollie, so Ollie kind of became Lexi's dog. The whole time she lived at home, he would sleep in her bed, like she would take him everywhere. And so when she moved out, she always asked me, like, Mom, you're gonna let me have Ollie, right? I wanna take Ollie with me. So that's why Lexi has Ollie. But we are very serious about taking care of our pets. We love them forever. And so when it came time to think about getting a new dog, Joe did a lot of research on the Belgian Malinois breed. And as most of you know, they're just incredibly smart, athletic, strong, loyal, protective dogs. And, you know, they have a pretty long lifespan. If they're healthy, they can live up to 14 years old, and they're just amazing. So Joe did a lot of research, and he's like, I think this is the breed that I want to get. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they look really neat and they're pretty. And I'm like, sure, like whatever. We had always done the Dalmatian thing. And I'm like, let's try something totally different. So we found a breeder in Maryland. Here, we just got back in the truck. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Yes, I can. There's a kennel and there's 2 dogs. Oh, they're so handsome. Joe. These are some handsome puppies. What do you think, Parker? Handsome, huh?
Yeah, they're extremely playful right now. They wrestle all day long.
Oh, their markings are so beautiful. I have a YouTube channel. Is it okay if I'm recording a little bit?
That
Okay.
would be awesome.
Oh, look, Parker. Yeah, Joe, you like the darker face, huh? Gunner and Bradley's mom and dad are both service dogs, beautiful dogs. And so we met him at the Bass Pro parking lot, and we were met with Bradley and Gunner, and our intention was to only choose 1 dog. We only wanted 1 dog. We've always only had 1 dog, except for when we got Ollie. It was kind of hard because we were like, you know, we were torn. It was like, we're retiring, we're moving to Alaska. You know, do we want to get both of them maybe so that they can have a companion? And then also when we chose Gunner because we liked the blonde. Bradley is darker. He's more of a red color, and Gunner is more blonde. And we just kind of liked that look a little bit better. So we chose Gunner that day. And when we took it out of that little kennel, we felt so bad because Bradley was just left sitting there like, where are you going? And it was just so sad. So the whole drive home, me and Joe were like, maybe we should have got both of them. Should we have got both of them? They could have been like besties in Alaska. Like maybe we should talk to them and go back and get them. And this went on for a good few weeks. We went back to the apartment, talked about it. Now here's the part that I'm not so proud of. But you know, it's I've repented and I've asked for forgiveness for my sins, and it is what it is. It's over with, okay? In the apartment complex, we were only allowed to have 2 pets, Parker? I think it was 2 pets. So we were left with, so at the apartment, we ended up just having Ollie because Striker passed away. You guys might remember he was getting older, and he passed away like that first week that we moved into the apartment. We knew that we couldn't have all 3 dogs there. We couldn't have Bradley, Gunner, and Ollie because we weren't allowed to have that many pets in the apartment. So we did a thing. We were like, well, they look exactly the same. I mean, even you guys are like, which one is which? I can't tell them apart. So some of you are good though. You know, like Gunner's got the more rounded ears. Bradley's are super pointy. You know, there's different ways to tell them apart. But at the apartment complex, I knew some people that knew I had a YouTube channel and we wanted to share getting the puppies on the channel, but I couldn't share that we got both dogs because you know how people be, you know, I just didn't know someone's gonna rat me out for having both of them, plus Ollie. So anyway, we concocted a plan and we decided that we were gonna call the breeder. It was 2 weeks or so later that we called him and we said we would like the other one if you still have him. And he's like, yes, I still have him. So we went back, met him in the same parking lot, got Bradley, brought him home to the apartment, knowing that we only had 2 or 3 months before we retired and we moved out to come to Alaska. And I didn't want to miss the opportunity of getting Bradley because he came from great bloodlines. He was Gunner's brother and he was just so cute. We wanted him and I didn't want the breeder to give him to someone else. And so we were like, well, they look exactly the same. So we'll just take one out to go to the bathroom at a time. That was the thing that we had done because we weren't allowed to have the third dog. And you know, in an apartment, you got to take the dog out to go to the bathroom. And so we couldn't take them all out at the same time. But Gunner and Bradley looked exactly the same. So for 2 or 3 months, we would only take one of them out at a time with Ollie. And nobody knew that we had a third dog. They thought that Bradley was Gunner. I'm sorry. That's what had happened. And I know I'll probably get comments from people like, teaching people to lie is wrong. I know, okay? I'm not advocating for it. It's just what we did. And so that's the story of Bradley. And that's why so many of you have been like, oh, I saw the video of when you guys got Gunner, but I didn't see a video of when you introduced Bradley and brought him home. Well, because we couldn't be like, oh, we got another puppy. Because like I said, some people in the apartment complex knew we had a YouTube channel and I couldn't do that. So we very quietly and discreetly introduced him at the end of one of our videos, like right before we moved to come to Alaska. For the best anyway, because we kind of did a thing. I didn't share this with you guys yet. Well, let me show you. Hey. Come here. We decided to get Gunner's brother. And it definitely wasn't like a title and a thumbnail that was like, we got another puppy. It was a day in the life vlog. And we just kind of snuck that in there like, oh, we got another puppy. So that's how we got Bradley and Gunner, broskies with the moskies. And they're living their best life up here in Alaska. So for those that have asked how they came to be, that's the story. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thanks. Remember the call?
I think so.
Sarah! Sarah! He's my pretty mama girl. Yes. Hi, Sarah. Oh, did that feel good? Naomi, I know. I love you too. I do.
She's trying to follow me.
You trying to follow me?
Tilly. Hi, Tilly.
All right, you guys, that workout felt so good. Let me turn this off so you can hear me. Whew, it's a sunny day. We try to get the laundry done on sunny days. That was a good workout. I actually broke a little sweat on that one. I wanted to come in the kitchen really quick and show you guys how I feed my milk kefir grains. I have been drinking milk kefir again. I used to drink it back in Virginia, but I've been making my own milk kefir again for about a month and a half. It was like right around the time that we started carnivore that I bought some new organic milk kefir grains on Amazon, and I will link everything for you guys in the description where you can get yours too. They're awesome grains. In fact, mine were multiplying so fast, I split them in half and gave half of them to a girlfriend of mine. And you guys know that I am on a mission to strengthen myself, strengthen my body, get myself back to where Tina used to be, all the things, mentally, emotionally, physically, especially. And part of that is getting my gut better. The Lyme disease wreaked havoc on my insides and caused years of inflammation, caused gluten intolerance, and it's just done a number on me, and I need to strengthen my gut microbiome. And one of the ways I'm doing that, other than not eating processed foods, cutting out processed sugars and all the seed oils, is by drinking milk kefir, raw milk kefir, because I milk Bella every morning, so I use raw milk to feed the kefir grains, but I drink it just about every day. It's like a plain yogurt. That's the flavor. Maybe a little bit more tangy and effervescent. The grains basically ferment the milk. You leave them for 24. Sometimes I leave them for 48 hours because I like it to be a little bit more tangy. Some people can drink milk kefir just straight when it's done fermenting. I can't do that. I'm not hardcore like that. So you guys have seen me before make up my little kefir berry smoothie. After I work out, it's just some ice, half a banana, about a third cup of blueberries, and a half a cup of kefir. And I drink that. It's just filling my stomach with all kinds of good probiotics, prebiotics, all kinds of stuff that's going to help that good bacteria strengthen in my tummy and combat the bad bacteria that we don't want in there. So let me show you guys really quickly how I feed the kefir grains. All right, so I think my head is a little cut off, but that's okay. You guys know what my head looks like, so we're going to be all right. So let's see, what's the date on this? The 19th. So sometimes I neglect my kefir grains a little bit. It doesn't go bad. This is raw milk, so it just gets better, and I don't mind it. So you can ferment your milk for 24 hours. That's all that's needed to make kefir, kefir, however you like to say it. But, you know, I just get forgetful sometimes. But anyway, I fed this 3 days ago with fresh raw milk, and I'm gonna feed it tonight. And then what I'm gonna do is put this yummy kefir into this little jar. I got these cute little jars on Amazon for my milk kefir. Keep these in the fridge so I'm stocked up all week. And your milk kefir will last for about a week in the fridge. If it's past 6 or 7 days for me, I don't drink it beyond that. I actually give it to the chickens if there's a bottle that's been left in there for too long. And the chickens go bananas over milk kefir. They love it. The rooster had milk kefir dripping all down his chest the other day, and the hens were biting it and licking it. Not licking it. I don't know if they really have tongues that lick, but anyway, they were eating the milk kefir off of the rooster's chest, so they love fermented milk. So all I'm gonna do is take this. I've got these little lids from Amazon. These are kefir lids. They've got little holes in them like a strainer, and it comes down to a little spout here to pour. And I'm just going to transfer this into my little milk kefir jar. And you can see the texture of it. It's not liquidy like milk anymore. It's thicker, and I like to put it in the fridge for at least 24 hours before I drink it. I like it to be nice and chilled. Okay, so that's about it. I just put a lid on this, and then I date it for today's date. I mean, I guess you could date it for the day you started fermenting it, but it's fully fermented now, so I put the date that I put it into the fridge on here. So now we've got our grains in here that need to get fed. Now you do not have to rinse your kefir grains. A lot of people don't. I do, just because there's cream from the milk that gets kind of caked up on them, and I just like to give them a good rinse in some cool water. And pour these kefir grains into the lid, and then I just give them a rinse with cool water. You don't want to use hot water because your kefir grains are fragile and the hot water can kill them. You also want to make sure that you do not use tap water. Like if you're on like city tap water that's got fluoride or it's chlorinated at all or anything like that, you don't want to use that on your kefir grains. If you're on a well like we are, that's fine. If not, you can just buy bottled water from the store. Just little grains. And these are the same as, you know, water kefir grains. I mean, they're different grains, but it's the same exact concept. Water kefir grains are clear, more of like a translucent, and then milk kefir grains are this creamy white color, but they're these beautiful living organisms. And they will multiply and essentially live forever if you feed them and take care of them, and you can split them and share them with friends and family. You only need about a tablespoon of milk kefir grains to ferment milk. And if you ever go on vacation or something, or you're just like, I'm not really drinking milk kefir that much right now, and you don't want to deal with feeding them every day or every few days, you can just feed them fresh milk, put them in like a mason jar. I usually do like a pint jar of fresh milk with the kefir grains, and put them in the fridge, and they will go dormant. Basically, they kind of go to sleep because it's cold in there. So they'll feed on that milk that you gave them at a slower rate because they're in the refrigerator, and you can just set them in there. I've set mine in the fridge for 2 or 3 weeks, and they were just fine when I took them out, rinsed them, and fed them new milk. So they're just really flexible. They're fun little things here. They're very flexible, and they're really good for you. So a lot of you have been asking over on Instagram about the milk kefir grains, so I wanted to just take a second and show you how I do my milk kefir. So now we got them rinsed. We're going to feed them fresh milk, and then we're good to go. And we're just going to leave them for at least 24 hours, maybe 3 days again if I forget. But that's just the cycle. You just keep feeding them. And then I just pour the rest to fill it up. I feed them a good pint of milk or so. Doesn't have to be exact. You can do quart-sized jars. The milk kefir grains will ferment a much bigger amount than this, but right now I'm the only one that drinks milk kefir in the family. Parker will drink it occasionally if I put it in a smoothie, but I don't really need like a quart of milk kefir every day because I just don't drink it that fast. So I just ferment a pint at a time. So we're gonna put our kefir lid back on here, and then what's cool about these little lids is they've got this little groove here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So basically it fits into these grooves. Don't know if you can see that. I think you can see that. And you just want to line that up, and then you turn it and it stays in an open position. There's a little crack here, so it allows the fermenting process to breathe and also keeps little gnats and bugs out at the same time.
me. But I'm gonna pray. Ready? Parker. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you.
Be normal. That's like stuff that looks gross. Joey, it has skin. That looks weird. Don't do that. Babe, that's in there. Oh, you look like you had like a car accident or something and like.
I did. Why are you making fun of me?
You have not. Yeah.